Questions of the author, Mr. President?
Senator Creighton, do you yield?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Creighton. Senator Creighton, I'm on page 13 of the conference committee report, and I'm looking at the Senate version, House version, and it's a list of gifted and talented promotion, retention, graduation policies. I'm trying to figure out in the conference, it looks like y'all did some sort of hybrid. I'm trying to figure out what y'all were doing there.
So is this related to clubs?
That's the part I'm trying to figure out here. It looks like it's under section 11. Each board of trustees shall, and then we go on to the next one. No, I think it has to do with So this is where a trustee gives parents information about parental rights and the options, including the right to withhold consent or for exempt the parent's child from certain activities and instructions that addresses the parent's rights and concerns. So it's a list of things that the trustees have to provide.
That's correct. That's under the grievance provision.
The grievance. Sure, yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at under the grievance provision. I was trying to figure out what the hybrid ended up with. Because you're very close and when you went to conference, but I think you just struck some language from letter M. I think that's all that occurred. Court, is that what occurred?
Yeah. I believe that's correct, Senator Menéndez. It's very close. They just made minor adjustments in different places, but the spirit and intent, the substance behind it was not significantly changed.
Did I hear you say that the House added language to say that the school is not allowed to help students transition?
That's correct. There was an amendment added onto the bill in the House dealing with that exactly, related to any effort to assist a student with a new name or different pronouns or expressions of gender that deny or encourage a denial of the person's biological sex at birth. That's specifically tailored towards a one-way street, that the school would be approaching the student in those categories.
I've never heard of a school helping anybody transition. But I think what the bill is trying to say is, okay, explicitly you're going to not do this, but it doesn't mean that if a child shows up and says, my name is Lisa, but Lisa looks masculine, is the school going to be allowed to call the child by its name, by their name?
Yeah, that's what I mean about the one-way street. It's not about the approach from the student. It's more about the approach from the school themselves. And keep in mind, there are groups on campus that have teacher sponsors, that have school district employee-related leaders for those particular groups. And we do have examples of some inappropriate situations happening that would be absolutely under the definition of assistance and encouragement in transitioning. So specifically the amendment itself, it requires every district or charter school to actually adopt a policy that makes it clear to employees exactly what we're talking about in this exchange, that is not appropriate on advising the student in those types of situations, and it makes sure that parents are notified as well and are a part of that conversation.
I guess where I'm going, and I understand what you're saying is, okay, if anyone out there is doing this, you need to stop as soon as this bill becomes law. I get it. Don't agree with it, but I get it. So the question that I have, though, is if a student has currently, let's say there's a junior or senior out there who has currently, with the advice and consent of their parents, been working towards transitioning, and they have been going to school and say, my name is Lisa, I identify as a trans woman, does this bill then make it to where that person's teacher next year, when school starts their senior year, they can't call them by what the student has said their name is? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, yes, that amendment would lead the school district to create a policy where there can be no assistance or advising or helping in any name change or pronoun change or other type of gender social transition, and that the parents would need to be notified if there was an approach by the student in that type of way.
I think the word change is the key word, because I'm not talking about a change. I'm saying this student has been freshman, sophomore, junior year, Lisa. Next year, this is law. Do students who are currently transitioned, can they still be respected and left alone, is all I'm trying to say. They're not changing. That's what they've been doing.
Under this required school district policy, there would be a new framework. There would be a parent consultation in that regard.
Wow, okay. All right, let's move on. On page 16, under our bill, it's section 17. We're amending section 26.009 of the Education Code. In the House, they're amending section 18. It says consent for required certain activities. And the two bills seem to be very different. Apparently, the House version has a lot about an employee or contractor of a school must receive. Okay, so the employee or the contractor have to get the parent's permission to conduct a psychological or psychiatric exam. So they go into a lot of detail. And y'all went with the House version of that, did you not? It looks like.
That's correct.
This bill seems to have gotten worse in the conference committee. I appreciate you answering my questions. There's not a whole lot we can do at this late stage in the game, but I appreciate you taking my questions. Thank you.
I think the House and Senate version, while they're similar, I think the House chose on the floor to clarify, which lengthened some of the intent behind the provisions.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the exchange and certainly getting some intent into the record.
It's just it's such a big bill. And I for one believe in parents' rights, but I think the bill actually goes to the extent that it limits parents' rights if they are working with their child on something that they both agree and believe, and maybe a doctor as well. I think we're putting limitations in the bill, especially in the issue of transitioning and that sort of thing. But I appreciate you answering my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Menéndez.